Alrighty, every now and then one of the best cars that shows up at a car show is actually not a car entered in the show, but one someone just drives to the parking lot, such as this green and white 55 Oldsmobile that showed up at the OKC Auto Show. This fine example, I don't know the backstory, but it looked pretty good. Had a lot of detail. The emblems all seem to be intact, near as I can tell anyway. Although one thing about it, in the photos you might notice the side shots, the green looks a little darker than it does from the top, probably because of the sunlight. So the 55 Oldsmobile is a very rare car nowadays, especially compared to a 55 Chevy. So what are some of the ways you might be able to spot a 55 Oldsmobile should you find one? So the best way I can tell you to spot a 55 Oldsmobile is this unique streak pattern that goes behind the driver's door on the fender. That streak, which to me it's kind of hard to describe depending on how you look at it. Maybe you could say it looks like a wing, maybe a steak knife point, I don't know. But that's a unique pattern to the 55 Oldsmobile. I did say driver's door, but it's the same on the other side of the car too, actually. I think maybe you could say it kind of also looks like a beak. Like a bird's beak, maybe? This streak pattern for the trim on the car is also the same on the four-door version, but the four-door version, the streak starts on the back doors. Now, if you look at the 55 Chevy, for example, which is a much more common car, and take a look at the two-tone models in particular, you'll notice it doesn't have a streak pattern anything like the Oldsmobile in the back. It's much more of a straight line design. Now, if you were to ask me which car do I like better, the 55 Chevy or the 55 Oldsmobile, you're really putting me on the spot, because I do like the 55 Chevy a lot too. But let's just put it this way. I think the 55 Oldsmobile is a much more advanced design for the model year. The 55 Chevy has a more simplistic design, especially when you compare it to the front of the 55 Oldsmobile, the grille and such. The front end on the Oldsmobile, for example, looks more like the front end on the 57 Chevy. Here they are side by side, 57 Chevy and 55 Oldsmobile. Then when you compare it to the 55 Chevy. But at the end of the day, if you just want to know the year of the car you're spotting, should you be fortunate enough to find one, you can spot the 55 Oldsmobile by the unique streak pattern. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe.